It's time to talk design. Design Duo brought to you by Ganji and Harsha.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Design Duo. As we have heard from you, some of you are designers. But some of you are not designers yet. At least not by the job role. But you are interested in getting into the design track, getting into a design profession. So we thought of talking about this topic. As non-designers, like we used to be, how we could get into a design track, how we could get into a design profession. So today, in this episode, I and Harsha are going to talk about how to break into design.
Yes, break the barriers, break the beliefs. Everyone can be a designer. But why? Why do we think that you should do a career change? Or why a career change at all?
Well, I can say that designing is a very satisfying profession because you are facing a new challenge every day. You are getting together with a team and you are trying to fulfill or you're trying to solve that challenge. And once the challenge is solved, it's a very satisfying feeling that you get. Once the problem is solved, you feel really happy about it. So I think that's what keeps me going as a designer. And maybe that's why people want to get into this profession of designing. So Harsha, I know that you have been a developer. As I heard, you have been a very good developer back a couple of years back. So how did you get into design? What made you make that shift? What happened? Tell us.
Well, long story short, I was born to musician parents. And music was all over the place. So I think design was part of my life because music and design are going so close together because both are creative fields. But anyway, due to my strong enthusiasm in the development, technology, I became a developer. 6 years later, I found that I can write better specs because those days we were writing code based on the specs. So I want to write my own specs because the specs was not good enough. So how did I want to change that? I want to write specs myself. So what's the key takeaway? If you want to change something, DIY, do it yourself. Don't wait for others. By doing that, I realized that I have become a product designer. I have become a designer, actually. So I did my career change there. If you love something, you must go for it. I never hesitated when I wanted to do that change. Key takeaway 2, never be afraid to do your career change. Do it. Do it now. So since then, I have helped design a lot of products, but I do not have a design degree. Takeaway 3. You don't need a design degree to design products or design anything. In other words, you don't need formal design education to design products or services. All you need is passion. Passion to learn from anyone, from anything, anywhere. Now, Ganji is a person who experiments a lot. He is also very passionate about design. So let me ask you, how did you move from business analysis to design?
So even today, my job role is not a designer. I'm a product owner by profession. So why am I calling myself a designer? So I'm someone who believes that the job roles and these job descriptions will not define you. So what will define you is what you do. So if you are solving problems, if you are collaborating with your team to achieve a goal or to solve a challenge, that means you are a designer, aren't you? I mean, if you are capable of solving a problem, and if you are capable of running a design process with your team, then for me, that person is a designer. I mean, I don't believe that job roles or job descriptions should define a person. If you watch a YouTube video, if you do an online course, then you can learn a lot without spending a fortune. So that is a privilege, I would say. So if you are really passionate about design, and if you really think that what you should be doing is designing instead of whatever that you are doing now, then get onto the internet and research on design, learn design. And there's a ton of books written about design. So use them to get inspired and to learn things. So in the description, we will probably mention some of the YouTube channels that I have followed to learn design, and some of the books that I can recommend for any beginner to get into the design track. So those will be available on the description. So very similar to you, Harsha, I don't have a design degree. So I have studied information technology, and soon after I graduated, I started my first job as a business analyst. So that's what I have been doing for several years. Throughout my career, I have had really good coaches and mentors. And Harsha, you have been one of my first coaches and mentors, and thank you for that. And Yasit, if you are watching this, if you are listening to this, thank you for being one of the great coaches that I have ever had. So I'm really grateful for that. So what I'm going to say is that the use of coaches and mentors and using them very effectively is something that will help you massively in getting into design and being a good designer. So when you move on in this career path, you will need someone or something to validate whether you are doing the right thing or not. So a coach or a mentor would be the ideal person who can do that. So even a 5-minute chat with a good coach can teach you a lot of things. Maybe a 5-minute chat over a coffee with a mentor. It can give you insights that you have never really thought about. So that is how I learned. That is how I learned from my mistakes. I have been talking with my coaches and mentors about what I did or the mistakes that I have made during the last couple of days. Then the coach or the mentor will tell me what I can improve on or what I should not have done. So likewise, that conversation is really important. So you can try to find a good coach or a mentor, someone that you can look up to, someone who can teach you something maybe beyond the skills and competencies, someone who can provide some guidance to you in your new design career. Because when you get into a new career, there's a lot of unknowns. You don't know whether you are doing the right thing or whether you are doing the wrong thing. So you need someone to open up to. So you need someone who can validate you. Yeah, so you might be a manager, an engineer, or a business analyst. So whatever you are, if you think that you are passionate about design and you can use some design skills or you can use some design competencies in your work, then I think you should go for it. So don't let any job role or job description define you or define what you are. So if you think that a collaborative workshop is something that would help you in your work as an engineer or a manager, then take that leap, take that brave step and facilitate that and see how it goes. I mean, until you try it, you would never know what would happen. You would never know whether you are capable of facilitating a workshop or designing a solution until you do it. So take that brave step, take that brave first step, then you will know whether it can be a total disaster at the first time, but you would know that there are things that you can improve on. So it's very important to try things out. So if you watch this video and if you are at least a bit inspired by this talk, my advice is that you should try something out tomorrow or in your next design project or in your next project and see where you will end up in. So if you are someone who's working in an organization that has designated designers to do design jobs, but if you think that you have the passion or you have the desire and you have the skill set and the capability to solve problems and design, then you need to make use of all the small opportunities given to you. So that is the way that you can show, and that is the way that you can get into the design track very easily. So if you are asked to help out in a design project by a designated designer, then show that how you can contribute. Don't wait until you are offered a designer job role or a designer job title to do design. You can design solutions even while being an engineer, or you can design solutions even while being even a manager. So it doesn't really matter what your job title or the job role is. What you do is what matters the most. So just don't restrict yourself inside those job descriptions. Go beyond it, go outside it, and do what matters. So if you think that we can help you in some way as coaches, as mentors, so we are really happy to help you out, because we believe that we need to pass it on, we need to pass it forward, whatever that we received from our coaches and mentors. So please feel free to reach out to us through our social media on any of the platforms. We will be responsive. So yes, send us a message and let's see what we can help you with.
Yes, and you may have done your own career shifts, and you may have your own tips or tricks that you want to share with us and everyone else. Don't forget to subscribe and also like this video and share among your friends. We would love to hear all your comments. Thank you so much. We'll see you in another episode. Bye-bye.